Belief is the invisible force that precedes every great achievement in history. When a person adopts the mindset that anything is possible, they shift the boundaries of what they can accomplish. This belief does not rely on present circumstances or tangible proof. It originates within the mind, rooted in the certainty that the unseen can become the seen through unwavering faith and consistent action. Behold, any goal can materialize in the world. It must first take form in thought. Every building, invention, or triumph began as an idea in someone's mind. A fleeting thought, a vision, a desire backed by belief. Without that initial conviction, nothing of significance could be born. Belief becomes the seed from which action springs. It shapes the direction of energy and effort, focusing thought on what is possible rather than what is probable. And therein lies the distinction between the dreamers who create and the doubters who remain stagnant. One dares to believe without condition, while the other waits for proof. The moment a person begins to believe with certainty, they engage forces within themselves that are otherwise dormant. The human mind, when fueled by sincere belief, becomes a magnet for solutions, ideas, and opportunities. Where there was once uncertainty, now there is clarity. Where there was hesitation, now there is motion. The inner dialogue changes. Instead of asking, "Can I?" it becomes, "How can I?" And that shift opens the gateway to resourcefulness, creativity, and perseverance. True belief is not passive. It is not hoping. It is not wishing. It is an internal command. A declaration that what is imagined will, with time and persistence, become real. This kind of belief doesn't need permission or outside validation. It doesn't ask whether others approve or whether the odds are favorable. It creates its own path through the sheer force of decision and determination. When a person believes deeply, they become immune to setbacks. Failures no longer define them. They become stepping stones, feedback loops, or necessary detours. Belief transforms obstacles into lessons and adversity into fuel. A person who believes that anything is possible doesn't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What is this here to teach me?" and then move forward with greater purpose. They understand that their destiny is not controlled by external forces, but by the quality and intensity of their belief. What makes belief so powerful is its contagious nature. Others feel it. They are drawn to it. A person who radiates unshakable belief influences the thoughts and energy of everyone around them. Their certainty creates alignment, inspires action, and often leads to support, partnerships, and breakthroughs that seem to arrive by chance, but are in truth the natural result of a belief-driven path. Even in moments of doubt, belief acts as a compass. It centers the mind, grounds the heart, and reminds the individual of why they began. It fuels resilience and demands persistence, turning long nights and hard choices. Those who learn to believe as if anything is possible stop reacting to life. They begin directing it. Their vision becomes the blueprint for their future, and their belief becomes the engine that drives them there. In this way, belief is not just the beginning of success, it is the essence of it. Without it, talent is wasted, ideas die, and potential fades. But with it, the impossible becomes reachable, and the person becomes unstoppable. The human mind is the most powerful asset a person possesses. It is both the architect and the builder of every reality we experience. Every achievement, every setback, every transformation begins within the confines of thought. The mind, when left unguarded, is vulnerable to the whispers of fear, doubt, and limitation. But when directed with intention and discipline, it becomes the master key to possibility. Everything we see around us, our relationships, careers, health, and environment, is a reflection of the thoughts we consistently entertain. Thought is the root. Circumstances are the fruit. When a person begins to understand this truth, they gain the power to shape their world. They realize that belief is not just an emotional attitude, but a mental discipline. It is a decision to feed the mind with vision rather than fear, with confidence rather than hesitation. The challenge lies in the subtlety of thought. Most people are unaware of the countless ideas that pass through their minds each day. They allow outside voices, past experiences, and present struggles to dictate what they think and how they feel. Over time, this creates a mental atmosphere clouded with doubt, fear, and resignation. In such an atmosphere, the belief that anything is possible feels like a lie. But this is not because it isn't true. It's because the mind has not been trained to see beyond limitation. Reining the mind begins, a person must become conscious of the thoughts they allow to dominate their internal dialogue. Negative thoughts are not just harmless observations. They are mental blueprints. Repeated often enough, they build emotional walls and internal ceilings that cap what a person believes they can achieve. To believe that anything is possible, one must guard the mind as a sacred space, allowing only those thoughts that uplift, empower, and expand vision. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to interpret reality through the lens of potential rather than limitation. When faced with difficulty, the untrained mind asks, "Why me?" While the trained mind asks, "What can I learn?" The first question disempowers. The second opens the door to growth. Every challenge becomes a test of belief, a chance to reinforce the idea that circumstances are temporary, but vision is eternal. A guarded mind is a focused mind. It resists distraction and refuses to be swayed by the noise of the world. In a society saturated with fear-based messages, staying rooted in possibility is a radical act. It requires discipline to turn away from negativity, to limit exposure to sources that drain hope, and to surround oneself with voices and environments that fuel belief. But it is through this discipline that clarity emerges, and with clarity comes power. There is immense strength in mental clarity. When a person is clear on what they believe and why they believe it, no storm can shake them. They may bend, but they will not break. They do not rely on perfect circumstances to move forward. Instead, they draw strength from their inner convictions, knowing that the mind is the original canvas on which the future is painted. Guarding the mind also means refusing to accept the limitations others place upon it. Not everyone will understand the vision. Not everyone will believe in the dream. But the mind, when conditioned for greatness, does not require consensus. It leads, even when others doubt. It persists, even when others quit. It holds firm to possibility, even in the presence of impossibility. This mental discipline, once mastered, creates consistency of belief. And belief, when maintained over time, alters perception. What once seemed impossible begins to appear inevitable. The path forward becomes clearer, not because the external world has changed, but because the internal world has aligned with purpose. Confidence grows. Intuition sharpens. Courage becomes natural. They are born from individuals who learn to protect their thoughts, to feed their vision, and to guard their minds like the sacred territory they are. They understood that belief begins in thought, and that thought, when cultivated with care and conviction, becomes destiny. Belief requires commitment, not partial interest, not a hopeful attitude, but total, unwavering dedication to the idea that what you desire can and will be achieved. This kind of belief demands that you eliminate doubt completely. There can be no backup plan, no just in case it doesn't work out. When you truly believe that anything is possible, You burn the bridges to retreat and move forward with absolute certainty. You no longer entertain the idea of failure as a permanent state, only as a lesson or a necessary redirection. Mono people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they never fully commit to their vision. They hold on to safety nets, allowing doubt to remain in the background of their thinking. They give themselves permission to quit if it gets too hard. That mindset is a silent killer of dreams. It allows hesitation to creep in. It makes room for fear to grow, and slowly it erodes the fire that belief is meant to sustain. When you burn the bridges to doubt, you remove the option of turning back. You make a decision that says, "This is the path, and I will find a way, no matter how long it takes or how difficult it becomes." That kind of resolve changes everything. It sharpens your focus, strengthens your resilience, and forces your creativity to rise. Suddenly, new ideas emerge, new resources appear, and unexpected help arrives. But none of that becomes available to the person who is still mentally divided. Belief is not just a feeling. It is a choice, and that choice must be made again and again, especially in moments of uncertainty. It's easy to believe when things are going well, when you feel supported, when the results are visible. But the real test of belief comes when nothing is working, when progress is slow, when setbacks are piling up. That is the moment when most people let doubt back in. They start to question everything, their abilities, their timing, their worth. And once doubt gains a foothold, belief as a non-negotiable. You must close the door to what if it doesn't work, and instead ask, what else can I do to make it work? This shift in mindset is powerful. It transfers energy from fear to faith, from paralysis to momentum. It puts you in motion, and movement creates progress. Even small steps forward reinforce your belief, and that belief strengthens your commitment in return. Burning the bridges to doubt doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that struggle doesn't exist. It means facing those challenges with the certainty that they will be overcome. It means trusting that your vision is valid, your purpose is meaningful, and your belief has the power to carry you through. When retreat is no longer an option, advancement becomes inevitable. The path ahead may not be clear, but your commitment to walk it becomes unshakable. Belief alone is a powerful force, but when paired with action, it becomes unstoppable. One without the other is incomplete. Belief fuels the mind, shapes perception, and instills confidence. But only through action can that belief take form in the physical world. Together, they form a dynamic partnership that turns the invisible into the visible, the dream into the goal, and the goal into the reality. It's easy to sit and imagine a better life, to talk about what you want, to think about the goals you hope to achieve, and to convince yourself that believing is enough. But belief, no matter how strong, will never manifest results without movement. You must act. And not just once, but repeatedly, consistently, with the full force of your conviction. Every step forward becomes a declaration that your belief is more than words. It is a living, breathing commitment, and rooted in belief is different from action based on fear, pressure, or doubt. When you act from belief, your energy is higher, your intentions are pure, and your resilience is stronger. You're not just chasing results, you're fulfilling a purpose. You begin to take bold steps, even if the outcome is uncertain. You move not because you've guaranteed success, but because your belief won't let you stay still. It compels you forward, guiding you with an internal certainty that the effort matters, that each action is part of a larger unfolding. This kind of belief, inspired action, creates momentum. Momentum is one of the most underestimated forces in personal growth. It doesn't need to start big. A small action taken with confidence can build enough energy to start a chain reaction. The more you act, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more confident you become. That confidence strengthens your belief, and your belief drives further action. It's a cycle that builds on itself, creating progress that others might call luck, but in truth, it's the visible result of faith in motion. Taking action also reveals opportunities that are invisible to the passive observer. Many doors only open once you start walking toward them. Waiting for the perfect plan or the ideal timing is often just another disguise for fear. Those who move, those who act even when the plan is incomplete, discover paths that would never have appeared from a standstill. Movement attracts clarity. When your belief is paired with motion, life begins to respond. People notice, resources appear, situations shift, and while not every step will be perfect, every step is progress. Selection also proves belief to the self. It reinforces identity. When you take a step toward your vision, you tell yourself, I am someone who moves. I am someone who follows through. That repetition carves a new self-picture, one that aligns with success, one that is difficult to shake, even in the face of setbacks. And when obstacles arise, as they always do, that identity matters. It keeps you grounded in the truth that challenges are not the end, they are part of the process. There will be days when belief wavers, days when nothing seems to work, when the path ahead feels overwhelming. On those days, it's action that sustains you. Small steps taken in faith are sometimes all that's needed to keep the fire alive. It might be a call you don't want to make, a task you'd rather delay, or a decision you've been putting off. But when you take that action anyway, you reaffirm your commitment to the belief that this matters, and that you are capable of creating what you envision. Success, in any form, is built on the shoulders of belief and action working together. One inspires the other. Action gives belief substance, while belief gives action direction. When you fuse the two, you enter a state of momentum, where growth becomes natural, where effort feels aligned, and where results begin to compound. The outside world begins to shift, because the inner world is no longer in conflict. It belongs to those who do both, who dare to dream without limits, and then move with relentless purpose. Belief sets the destination, action charts the course, and the journey between the two is where transformation occurs. As you move forward on your journey, carry this truth with you. Everything you desire begins with the belief that it is possible. No matter where you start, no matter how distant the goal may seem, belief is the spark that ignites transformation. It is the invisible force that empowers you to rise above your current circumstances, to silence the voice of doubt, and to step boldly into the unknown with confidence. But belief alone must be matched with your willingness to act. The wall doesn't respond to passive dreaming. It responds to those who show up, who put in the work, who persist when it's hard, and who continue to move even when the results aren't immediate. Each small action is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. And when those actions are driven by conviction, by purpose, and by an unshakable belief in what is possible, they begin to build something extraordinary. Understand that you are not defined by your past, your setbacks, or the limitations others have placed on you. You are defined by the choices you make from this moment forward. You have the power to write a new story. Not someday, but now. You have the ability to create momentum, to shift direction, to start again with greater wisdom and strength. Every day is a new opportunity to recommit to your vision and to take a step toward it, no matter how small. Let this be your reminder. The most important voice in your life is your own. What you say to yourself matters. Speak to yourself with encouragement, with belief, and with clarity. Replace self-doubt with self-trust. Replace hesitation with boldness. Replace fear with focused action. The thoughts you repeat become the beliefs you hold, and the beliefs you hold determine the life you create. Surround yourself with influences that support your growth. Choose environments, people, and habits that align with where you want to go, not where you've been. Protect your energy, guide your focus, and stay loyal to your future, not your past. Growth isn't always easy. It will challenge you. It will stretch you. But every challenge is shaping you into the person capable of living the life you've imagined. The road ahead may not always be smooth, and the steps may not always be clear, but if you continue to believe as if anything is possible, and act as if success is inevitable, you will go farther than you've ever dreamed. You'll look back one day not with regret, but with pride, knowing you gave your all, trusted your inner voice, and never stopped moving toward the life you knew you were meant to live. So stand tall in your belief, walk with purpose, act with courage, because the life you're capable of is waiting not for the perfect moment, but for you to decide. And the moment you do, everything begins to change.